Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good whatever time it is, wherever you are, whoever you are, welcome once again to Anime Octane, the show in which we, the folks from Nerd Caliber, talk about a recent piece of anime entertainment, or in this case, a bunch of recent pieces of anime entertainment, and we look at them usually in depth. Tonight, we're changing things up a little bit, and we're going to be looking at them in breadth, I guess, or narrow breadth. Sliced breadth, let's put it that way. I'm Rodney Brown. I'm the editor-in-chief of Nerd Caliber, a first-person shooter on Facebook as a cosplay photographer, Burley_adopter on Twitter, a couple of other places. Joining me tonight with the stylish fedora, Byron. Introduce yourself, if you will.
Hello, guys. It is I, Byron D0, also known as Byron McNeil in the Muggle world. uh, I am a contributing writer for Nerd Caliber, content creator, and social media consultant. I guess I do a bunch of different things for the site. Glad to be here to talk about some awesome and not so awesome anime. And if you like anime related things from the West, you should check out my webtoon series Sisterhoods. I just posted episode 3 not too long ago. I'm working on episode 4, and it is a post-apocalyptic heavily Little Red Riding Hood inspired story.
Cool. I like the sound of that. Um,
Yes.
so tonight, what we're going to be doing, as you've seen from the teaser, if you saw the teaser, we will be talking about the winter 2022 anime season, the one that's currently going on, and we'll be looking at a couple of our favorites, definite favorites, honorable mention, and maybe one or two. Actually, I think we're going to do one each of ones that you should probably skip. It's not worth your time. So, like I said, instead of getting in deep, we won't be spoiling anything. I think I forgot to tell Byron that. So no spoilers, Byron. This
Of
isn't
course.
a spoiler show. But we will be talking about why we think it should be something you should watch. Before we get into that, already in the chats over there on YouTube, Samantha Gamer, hello, welcome to the show. And team member Chocobo Butt on the Twitches, welcome to the show. Hey you, as you say, if you've seen any of these, or if you have other opinions, any of the people on any of the chats, let me check real quickly to see if anybody's on Facebook yet. Nobody there. So let us know. All right, so Byron, what would you say is the show that you think people should be paying attention to this season?
I'm so glad you asked, Rodney. So,
Well, it's kind of the nature of the show, so if I didn't, we
yes.
wouldn't have anything to talk about.
Okay, so I love a good romantic story in my anime. As of as of the late 2010s and whatnot, there have been some choice romantic stories, and this one is no exception. Sasaki and Miyano. It's about a bromance between these two characters of the same name. I mean, the two characters of the show's title. Uh, who one who has like a massive collection of yaoi or boys loves manga, and his senpai Sasaki is deeply interested in it, but he's also got a fleeting crush on Miyano, and it is through their love of boys love manga that they form a bond, and the more time that they spend together, the more Sasaki just falls for him. And Miyano he's coded as heterosexual, but as of episode 3, he's not certain of anything.
That's pretty quick, getting into it right out of the gate.
Yeah, he's not. He's thinking about he's questioning he's questioning the intent behind Sasaki's actions. He's questioning how far he's willing to take their friendship.
I gotta say, these are giving off really strong, even from character design looks, vibes from the anime
Horimiya.
last year, Given, the band anime.
Oh, I need to check that one out. But
If you like this, I would suggest you do that.
okay,
Honestly, it's the first yaoi or BL anime I've ever watched, and I got into it mainly because of music, because I love music animes, and it's a great romance story. Um,
yeah, this is like this. This is the second like BL series that ever hooked me from the ground up. The first being Gravitation, which is also a music anime. If
oh,
you like it, the digital animation, the digital coloring hasn't aged very well, but it still holds some story, and that's why I like MIBL. It's like don't just make it about the sex. Like make like I want a human like you. I mean, I don't mind if there being sex in it as long as it's organic.
yeah.
Like don't make it Fujiyoshi bait for me.
Yeah. Again, I haven't seen this, but if it's like that, like Given, which
It's
was
wholesome.
yeah, and very much a story about uh, the emotional growth of these two characters, then I might check this out. Again, the character designs are very much like Given. Um, Chocobo Bet. Ah, this looks cute, and Given is very good too. I agree. Um, yeah, I would definitely recommend checking that one out. And on your recommendation, I'll check this one out. Um, do what is that currently on? Do we know which platform?
Funimation.
Funimation. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, um, I have two actually, because I couldn't make up my mind. And the first one is we'll call this my number two, is Tokyo 24th Ward. Well, this is a scene from a flashback there in the show, and I don't really want to say why it's a flashback because that actually sort of gives away something very important right at the beginning.
Yeah. I've
Uh,
only seen one episode of it, but I know what you're talking about.
yeah. And this is sort of the promo teaser. So basically, these three high school friends are um, different sort of people. You've got the kid in the red hair is a very sort of wild, not terribly wild, but he's an artist. The
An
kid in
anarchist as well.
hmm?
Also an anarchist.
Well, yeah. Well, when he grows up, I'm still talking about pretty much when they first get together. Well, actually, they were
Right.
together as little kids, but in high school. Um, the kid in the green hair is the son of a wealthy politician, and is very much a techie. And the kid in the blue hair is an athlete and kind of wants to be a hero. Not
Oh,
really, kind of. Actually, really wants to be a hero. I'm just saying kid and kid. So blue hair is Shuta, red hair is Ran, and green hair is
Noki.
well Koki, but everybody generally calls him Su from his his family name Sudo or Suido. Um, and the story involves them basically kind of becoming a superhero team ish. And again, I don't want to give away any details about how that happens because it's really interesting to the plot. It's a very, but the action is insane. The character designs are really good. The animation is really solid. The action
So good.
is nuts. The first episode, and I'm not sure how they convinced the money people, the production people, to let them do this. The first episode is an hour long.
I didn't realize it was an hour long. Jeez.
I didn't either until somebody, when I commented in my Facebook, just generally, after the first episode, saying how good it was. Jeremy, one of our friends and collaborators with some of the stuff we do here at the Nerd Caliber, commented that, oh yeah, I was surprised it was an hour long, and I went, really? And I went back and looked at it and was like, oh yeah, it is, because that second half is almost all action, and I was gripping this desk in front of me here so hard that by the
Oh
time the
yes.
action sort of ran its course, I and then I realized my fingertips were sweating.
I think the thing about 24th Ward that really grabbed me was like the mixture of slice of life and action in that first episode.
Yes. You get to get a sense of what the lives are like for these, three people and their friends around them, and it's there's a good supporting cast of friends and helpers and so on. Um, but you,
And I gotta say this right off the bat: Lucky is best girl.
yeah, okay, all right, I'll give you that. I'm who's the one that I'm thinking of here?
I think I know who you're talking about. Pink hair.
Okinako? No. I guess you're thinking Lucky. Maki, right? That's her name?
Ma- yeah, the childhood friend. Well,
Yeah,
she's more like a strawberry pink.
yes. Yeah, they don't have her up here for some reason as one of the primary characters, which seems really weird in my anime list. But yeah, Maki is best girl. No question, hands down. You're right, 100%.
Well,
Um,
she loves the dogos, so
yeah.
she's my second waifu.
It's really, and the second episode dropped recently, so I guess it started one episode later than most because of the fact that it had that first episode was a double. So the second episode just dropped when many other shows have already had their third, and it holds up. It still stands up, and gets possibly even more morally complex.
I think we have our first entry for anime of the year.
It could be. It could very well be. It's if it holds up. Now it's Cloverworks, and Wonder Egg Priority was a strong contender of anime of the year last winter.
Until it ended.
So yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, Cloverworks does amazing stuff. I'm a huge fan, but they get a lot of shows in this season alone, and I'm not sure that they're going to be able to stick the landing for all of them. Right now, this started out strong and is getting better.
I really, really hope we don't get another Wonder Egg with this one.
I
Though.
hope so too. I really do, because this is so solid. But anyway, so I'm going to go into my next one. I'll call my number one before we get into our honorable mentions, and that is this shouldn't be any surprise to anybody who knows me or knows how much Nerd Caliber is into supporting the cosplay community. My dress up doll
Yes.
is one of the best combinations of wholesome rom-com and ridiculous fan service that has ever been put on into an anime. The story has these two characters here, Gojo and Marin, or Kitagawa, who come together over the fact that Gojo knows how to sew, and Marin is a absolutely obsessed cosplayer who can't make her own cosplay or doesn't do a very good job with it.
I know the struggle.
I'm sure many people out there among our fans do. So Gojo is it's interesting that they sort of flip the characters in this from general stereotypes of a rom-com. Gojo is the sort of loner, has no friends, kind of weirdo out, or thinks of himself as probably a weirdo outsider, because he's an orphan raised by his grandfather. His grandfather is a master crafter of Hina dolls. So he grew up from a little kid learning how to, paint the porcelain faces of Hina dolls and craft their costumes and so on. And he mostly does the costumes because he's not nearly as good as his grandfather, who's been doing this for decades and decades. But because he has that, and he really likes it, because he has that hobby, early on, a girl tells him, he's a weirdo. And that kind of crushes him, and so he thinks everybody's going to think he's a weirdo. He meets
Kids can be cruel.
Kids can be cruel. He meets Kadogawa or Marin, who is as you can see from the photo, a garu, blonde hair, lots of earrings, and so on. But unlike the way those types of girls are often portrayed in anime, she's super popular. And also, one of the first things she says in his presence is, slamming a couple of other classmates for dissing another kid's hobby. And she thinks everybody should be pretty accepting of whatever anybody's into. So obviously these two get together, and again, it's super wholesome and also insanely ecchi. But unlike any anime in which they have to force the fan service and the ecchi elements, nobody ever accidentally stumbles into a boob grab in this. Just everything is part of an appropriate action within the story. Think about it. He's a costume maker. She wants costumes made. There's bound to be reveals and, close touches and, anyway, you can imagine what's going on here.
It's the perfect arrangement.
It is a perfect arrangement. And it explores very well, once you get into the next couple of episodes, the actual design and, the issues with crafting a costume. Whoever wrote this, and it's an insanely popular manga, the mangaka really clearly understands cosplay, or at least researched cosplay very well. So the character designs, you can see, are absolutely gorgeous. It's wonderful. I do have to say, while doing a search for the image, trying to find a large enough image that I could put up here and not worry about maybe demonetization was tough. Or at least not
real.
Everyone was Marin. And I eventually found 2 or 3 images that had Marin and Gojo in it, but that was, the first one was like literally 15 rows down in a Google search before he showed up. So yeah, Marin is absolutely best girl.
Absolutely.
Of the season. And I can't wait to see where this goes. You should absolutely be watching it. If you're at all into really creative, rom-coms, this is it. All right, Byron, you have an honorable mention.
Yeah, I also want to add a dishonorable mention as well, if that's all right.
You mean aside from your...
Yes.
Okay, make it a quick one because I don't have...
Okay, so my dishonorable mention goes to oh my god, Orient.
All right.
I'm not gonna say...
Yeah, don't say a whole lot about that because it may come up in the future.
Yes. I've seen it all before and I've seen it done better.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say about that one. My honorable mention goes to Miss Kuroitsu of the Monster Development Department. Now, I love Tokusatsu.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do. I mean, there was a point in my life where I ate, slept, and breathed it. I've fallen off some time ago, but there have been very few anime that have tickled that itch, that made me reminisce of those days, like this show. The second one being Samurai Flamenco.
I'm not familiar. I'm familiar with it. I haven't watched it. The only other one I would say is, you got to give One Punch Man a little bit just for Moomin Rider. Moomin Rider is... Yes,
Moomin Rider is definitely... But One Punch Man is more of is like a
right.
shonen. But yeah. So Miss Kuroitsu is about Miss Kuroitsu, who works for the monster development division of this evil empire, and the antics that go on in this in this department are hilarious. You have you have like one of the dark servants generals who also works in HR, and it's just like he looks so menacing. He's just so creepy, and it's just like you need to make sure to take care of yourself. You can't make evil monsters if you don't. If you can't make evil monsters if you're dead from exhaustion.
I have so I didn't go past one episode on this, but I've seen a clip from later on when she and the HR guy are on a train.
Yes.
We're talking about like she brings up their like line of body care products, and it's all right. That was pretty funny. I have to admit.
Yes, and the thing that really scratches the sweet spot for me, I'll end it there. There are like throughout the various episodes, there are homages to a subsection of tokusatsu in Japan called local heroes. Like they're prefectural heroes that are like that are like Power Ranger mascots for like Narita and Odaiba and the like.
Yeah.
And the one that stuck out, the one that I recognized right away was one called Phoenix Yasurugi. And at the end of each episode, it's like, this guy's real. If you want to find out more about him, search his name. So it's like it's free advertising for these prefectural heroes.
Nice. Well done. That's certainly different than a lot of shows where they sort of do that, like the Eurocamp, where it's sort of free advertising for camping, because all of the campgrounds that they go to are real.
I still need to watch that show.
Oh, it's about the chillest. I can never remember the name of the healing anime. Yatsuke. It's about the chillest one of those you'll ever run across. I do have to say, I love the character designs in here.
Oh yes.
I brought the image back up. I just didn't find the first episode funny, but now that you're talking about it, and after seeing that one clip, I think I might give it another try. This might be
worth a try.
A 3 and C instead of a 1 and done.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we've got enough time because these are going to be fairly quick for me. I think I will do both of my two honorable mentions. So first up is this is just Sabikui Bisco, which for some reason I just realized a few minutes ago has exactly the same syllable count and scansion as the chorus of The Who's Sister Disco, Goodbye Sister Disco. So now I'm going to hear that every time I say in my head, Sabikui Bisco. Hopefully I won't get those confused. Imagine Dorohedoro and Desert Punk had a PG-13 love child.
Oh, Lord.
This is insane. The world in here is every bit as crazy as the world of Dorohedoro. Some point in the future, this horrible, catastrophic explosion destroys most of Tokyo and turns most of Japan into a desert wasteland. There are cities that have recovered and are doing fairly well in dealing with, it also changed an awful lot of the flora and the fauna that actually do survive in the desert. So people eat different things. Weird mushrooms grow, well, all the time, but there are people, and Bisco, the one with the red hair and the bow here, is what they call a mushroom keeper who grows mushrooms or causes them to grow with his arrows. And people are absolutely sure that the mushrooms are responsible for a disease called the rust, which literally turns people's skin and organs into rust. And it's a wasting disease that will slowly eat you up. Milo, the one with the blue hair and the black eye, and that is a thing. He hasn't been punched. His eye has that black ring, just that one. They call him a panda doctor. Is a doctor. And he's trying to come up with a cure for this rust disease because his sister, who was the head of the city watch, and of course gorgeous and busty and violent as hell, is suffering from this disease. So Bisco is considered a terrorist because he spreads mushrooms everywhere. And again, I don't want to give it away. He's actually not really a terrorist. Harry Brady, welcome back to the show. We're not really.
I mean, Mother's Basement already spoiled it.
Well, yeah, true, but it's worth. So the reason it's an honorable mention, as much as I love the insane world building, is that the story structure is told disjointedly, at least so far through the first 3 episodes, and it's taken to the 3rd episode for me to kind of get exactly where they all are together in the story. And actually, this is sort of the point where the story then really takes off. So other than that, it's just wildly entertaining. There's a giant crab the size of a bus. There are machine gun hippo warriors. There's a woman in the governor's personal guard, and they all look like I can't think of his name, from Umbrella Academy. One of the Time Police guys, the one, they both wear weird heads. It's the one with the rabbit head. They all wear those rabbit heads. Yeah, it's pretty wild. But this one girl who is a member, or woman who's a member of this team, is also a pilot of these things that are essentially a C-130 Galaxy gunship, but it's a snail. When it gets shot in the what seems to be a metal fuselage, it bleeds. And it has like a snail's face or head or thing. It's weird. Anyway, it's worth watching for that. It might take a little bit for you to get through the story or try to figure out the story, but it's worth it to go through those first 3 episodes. My second honorable mention is, where is it? There we go. Akabi's sailor uniform. And you can imagine the main character is the one there in the sailor uniform. It is just a super wholesome slice of life, coming of age story about this girl who is just crazily excited about having been accepted to this sort of prestigious private academy that happens to be located in this same really rural, very remote farming valley that she lives in, because one, she gets to make friends. This farming area is so remote that she has always been just the only person in any one of her grades. And 2, she gets to wear the sailor uniform that she has seen pictures of her mom wearing when she went to the school. And it's the character Akabi, or Komichi, reminds me kind of Honda from Fruits Basket.
I can see that.
Very unique and a unique personality. The difference is she's pretty much right out of the gate becomes a very popular character, whereas Honda, it's a little bit more about people being not popular. Fruits Basket is. The only reason it's an honorable mention is because this could very well be subtitled, "Excuse me, Chris Hansen would like to talk to you about your foot fetish."
Oh no.
It revels in displaying the toned legs and definitely the feet of its characters. And one of the problems with that, or the main problem with that, at least for me...
Is Nickelodeon level cringe here? Is this Nickelodeon level cringe?
I don't get the specific reference to which Nickelodeon, but...
like iCarly and all those shows.
Maybe. I don't know. Probably, if I'm guessing what you're implying here, but Yeah, so the Japanese private academy system is like the British, in which it is middle school and high school. So our main character and all of the other characters that she's interacted with so far that, show off feet and legs are 13.
Oh no.
So after watching the first episode, I went and looked at the people behind this anime, figuring these were going to be the next people I read about that the Japanese authorities have seized their foreign packages. And it's all women. The director, the writer, the character designer, it's an entirely women-led staff on the anime. The mangaka is a guy. So we may be reading about him before long anyway. But,
yeah,
I got to give it to the women for just... And when I say wholesome, these, legs and feet are on display, but they are never displayed in a male gaze way, which is really surprising. All of the times you see them, the camera angles would be the same camera angle that you would use for any other point of view of a character in that scene. There's no, exaggerated zoom into the butt kind of anything like that.
Or excessive jiggle.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're 13. Now, granted,
I've seen plenty of anime where teenage girls were portrayed in that light. So
yeah, I guess for whatever reason, I have sort of a threshold at what I would consider the freshman year of high school. 15 and up, if they portray the jiggle, it's like, okay, I get it. Below that, I just kind of go, I mean, every minute I'm watching this, I'm waiting for Chris Hansen's footsteps out my door.
I'm going to need you to sit over here.
Yes, I'm going to need you to sit over here, Mr. Brown. Now, I want to watch it because it really is gorgeous. The animation is wonderful. The story is, like I said, it's a really wholesome coming-of-age story. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it through another few episodes. So that's my honorable mention. Byron.
An episode of anime you can't watch in public.
It absolutely could be. What do they call it? It's not Getting the Robot anymore. What do they call the
Beyond the Bot?
Beyond the Bot. If you don't watch Beyond the Bot on YouTube, that's a YouTube channel. If you're an anime fan, you really should. All right, Byron, what are we telling people to kick to the curb?
Oh, this is gonna be fun. So, who here is tired of anime portraying Romance of the Three Kingdoms?
Yo.
Yeah. So, how do you make an already tired trend or trope or whatever in Japanese animation even more uninteresting? You give them the most you make the most bland characters, the most slowly paced story, and
so
I'm talking about
there we go.
I cannot remember. It's that forgettable show. It's Fantasia Sango. Yes, Fantasia Sango. And it's just Romance of the Three Kingdoms with some fancy nail polish and hot pocket filling. Yeah, this is the hot pocket of anime retellings of Chinese folklore.
Yeah, I can say I looked at this, and as much as I like the character designs reasonably well, I just went, this has no appeal to me whatsoever. I didn't even give this one episode. So good on you for trying.
I didn't give it a full episode. Yeah, now your pick.
Okay.
I think we switched places.
Well, we didn't, but we sort of agree. So mine is also Orient. And it's really sad that this is so bad, because this is based on another work by the guy who wrote Magi.
Which is a great series.
And the difference is the animation. If you look at this, I mean, just look at this monster design here, in which our main character, and I guess this is a thing with the author, likes to take historical names and make, you know, non-historical stories about them. But this is Musashi.
That's
Not
because that's never been done before.
Yeah, because it's never been done before, except by him. Not given a family name, you know, or I'm not sure which way that goes, but it's just Musashi, not Miyamoto Musashi. And the story is, you know, he and his best friend decide they want to be samurai when they grow up, but their world changes, and you know it gets taken over by demons, and these demons, the people actually wind up sort of really being on the side of the demons.
Oops.
And again, you know, it's like, okay, I like the author of the original, of the previous work. I love the anime Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic, or the Kingdom of Magic, its sequel. Um, and so I said, yeah, I'll give this a try. It starts off with probably 30 seconds of narrator exposition about what I just told you about the world and the demons, except a lot more detail. And that, I hate that. Show, don't tell. Just, you know, as difficult as it is to get through the first few episodes of Sabiko Ibisco, it's so fascinating and weird, it's worth it, and you eventually get the whole story by that third episode. Here, nope, just some narrator goes, here you go. And then it starts with our first introduction to Musashi, who is working in an open pit mine, and you can see his quote-unquote sword is in fact a supersized bladed miner's pick.
Because he's the special.
Yeah. And we see him doing some work with the pick, and then it cuts to what is supposed to be a scene of the other workers talking about him. And the first 5 seconds of that is a static shot, middle distance, of like a dozen or so guys standing around with, you know, smaller picks, while their character voices work in the background talking about him. There's zero animation at all, and this is maybe 5 minutes into the anime. And then when it finally does, you know, when they start animating some of these, you know, people who are around him, the character designs are just stupid. You know,
Oh, yes.
they've got, one of the guys is what I call the broccoli guy, or the vegetable guy. So he's got that skinny head with, you know, sort of what's supposed to be like, I guess, curly hair, but it looks like broccoli florets on the top of his head. And then what looks literally like
coward?
Is
he a coward?
I honestly, I don't recall. And then he's got like the almost like a summer squash nose. I was like, really? That's what you're going for? It's like, how did that happen? Well, it's the studios. So Magi was made by A1 Pictures, and this is made by ACGT.
And what have they done?
Freezing. So,
oh God,
super etchy. Dai Shogun, also etchy, and you know, just idiotic. You know,
giant robot stuff.
Giant robots in the Edo period. There was one other that I just kind of went, oh, Dies Irae, which was a recent 2017, which was edgelord goth, the anime. Oh, it's just the dumbest thing you've ever seen. Now, they also did the original Kino's Journey.
I love the original.
Same here, and that blew my mind. That the people behind these pieces of Drek, and they did the 4th season of Initial D. So they can do quality work in addition to just garbage etchy. Or they can do literally just garbage animation. And this animation was so bad, like Byron said with his skip, I did not finish the first episode. It was just so bad I couldn't take it. So yeah,
I gotta say though, those character designs overall, it's like they're so cookie cutter.
they are. There's nothing innovative. The character designs in Magi were fantastic. Um, and you know,
Musashi's outfit just looks ridiculous.
yeah,
It's like it's like first of all, he doesn't look like a slave dressed like that.
right. Yeah, I mean, you look at this, you know, and this is it's a slightly different version, but it's kind of what all of the miners are working with. Um, it's just it's terrible, folks. Orient,
He looks like a prince that's just lost his throne.
right? Orient, folks, don't watch it. Don't even bother. It's a waste. There's nothing
It's
there.
hot garbage.
It is garbage.
And not even the good kind.
Yes. Yeah, there are some garbage out there that's really entertaining enough to be worth watching. And then there's, you know, X-Arm.
Or handshakers.
Or So, that's it, folks. You know what? If you want to watch really good animation, wait until this Friday and go to Prime Video and start watching Legend of Vox Machina.
Yes.
It's solid. My review is up on nerdcaliber.com of the first 3 episodes.
It's so good.
It is really good. Anyway, that's it, folks. That's our show. Thank you all for the comments. Thank you all for sticking around and watching this. We hope you like some of the things that we liked. And if you disagree with the stuff we said to avoid, by all means, let us know in comments, you know, after the fact or whatever. We are trying to do, as we've always done for a couple of months now, a hard push on getting our Twitch numbers up. So if you have a Twitch account, we'd love you to go to twitch.tv/nerdcaliber and follow us there. And we're also always trying to get people to check out our Patreon, patreon.com/nerdcaliber. If you want to support us, love to have you. Just 3 tiers, and only $2 for the very lowest tier. We'll take that revenue, that income. Anyway, we'll take those funds and use them to go to cons, assuming that Omicron doesn't keep cons from happening. Exactly. Knock that wood. All right, folks, that's it. Byron, give us a goodbye if you would.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. As always, check out my webtoon series. It's Sisterhood, 2 words. Have a good night, y'all.
And before I go, tomorrow night, Nerd Week Live, 8 o'clock. Be here. We've got a bunch of really interesting things already queued up. Lots of cool topics. So far, knock wood, none of the craziness of like a Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard, but still some very cool stuff. And then Thursday, our full fat spoiler chat is going to be on... I know this. I should know this. Is going to be on something really interesting that just happened really recently and is very cool entertainment. Where's our spoiler chat channel here? There we go. And really quickly, I'm going to tell you before I get completely tired of talking. Oh, there we go. Byron and I were just talking about Dota Dragon's Blood Season 2.
Yes.
If you haven't seen our first review on Full Fast Spoiler Chat, go back and check that out.
It's good stuff.
It was pretty good. You know, there's been some adaptations of you know, things with the word dragon in them that have sucked hard in the last couple of years. This is not one of them. Dragon's Dogma.
Thank you.
Anyway, with that, thank you all.
Nasty cough you got there.
Yeah, this is a nasty cold. It's not the COVID, I swear. Anyway, that's it, folks. Thank you all for showing up. We'll see you at an upcoming show.